Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new, my name is Monique, and I guess you could say I'm a mom lifestyle vlogger. I guess let's call it that. So I'm just sitting here drinking coffee from my mug my bestie got me. It says building my empire and the baby sleep for now. And I thought I'd just make a video as quick as I can about co-parenting and how you can have a successful co-parenting relationship. So this video is going to be for people that didn't have an amicable breakup with their significant other. If you guys did have the opposite, great for you. I am jealous, but I didn't. So there's things that I definitely had to learn and go through to get to the point where we're at now, and I feel like we're at a good place. So I wanted to share these tips with you, so keep watching. I actually wrote these down because I don't want to ramble. So the first thing I would say to do for having a successful co-parenting relationship is getting a written agreement. Get everything in writing. And I mean down to just even the way you guys communicate. I would say to keep things through text, just so that you can always refer back to what you said that they might have missed. Things like that. I think the baby's crying. Okay, so like I was saying, just make sure you keep all your communication through text. It makes everything easier. I know that sometimes you can't hear tone through text, but at this point, it doesn't even matter. Everything needs to be about your kid anyway, so just keep everything through text. And then I would say, as far as like custody, holidays, your schedule, legal, just get it in writing. Get it in writing, whether you go through the court or if you guys write something down, you go have it, I don't know, notarized, or I don't know what you have to do. I personally went through the court, which I'll talk about in the next step, but and I would suggest being very detailed down to holidays and birthdays and things like that, because you don't want to be like, okay, we'll just figure it out when it gets to that point, because you're just gonna be at this point you're exhausted, right? You guys aren't communicating well, you're not getting along, so I wouldn't save those conversations for later. Just talk about everything. So come up with something that works for you guys. So that leads to my second point, mediation. So we went through mediation through the court, and my daughter's father, for those that don't know, I have a 2-year-old from a previous relationship, and I would say that we didn't end well, so it was very hard for us to talk about certain things. So we went to a mediator where it was a completely unbiased person. She didn't know him, she didn't know me, she didn't know anything. Nothing about the relationship, nothing. So she literally just talked to us, or we talked through her, and she went over every detail of things that would have to be talked about with Olivia. I think that having a third party unbiased person will be really helpful, because I feel like if you feel like what you're saying to that person's parent is just not getting through to them, they already feel some type of way about you, so anything you say, they just don't really care anymore. But if they hear it from someone else, it might stick with them a little bit better. So definitely do mediation. I would strongly suggest that. Like, whew, yeah. And this is not, this is completely separate from child support. We didn't go to court for child support, so I'm not sure really what that process is, but this is just getting like legal and physical custody into writing, and getting your schedule, your holidays, arrangements like that, getting it all in writing. What would happen if she got sick, things like that. So yeah, mediation, whew. Cheers to that. My third tip would be to set boundaries. Okay? Ding, 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 ding. Listen to me, okay? This one is getting juicy. The baby's crying. Okay. Setting boundaries. So if you want to have a successful co-parenting relationship, you really need to set boundaries as far as your personal relationship with your child, the other child's parent. And what I mean by that is the relationship is done, so keep it done. If you're gonna co-parent, if you're gonna be together, be together. There doesn't need to be any gray area. It's just gonna be confusing and hurtful for you, for the kid, if they're at that age where they're kind of like, okay, I'm with my mom, my dad, then I'm with my dad, my mom. Like, just, if you're gonna co-parent, just co-parent. You're not together. Do not backtrack. Do not get back with that person. Just don't do it, guys. Just call a spade a spade. It is what it is. We're trying to take care of our kid, and that's the most important thing. So definitely set boundaries. As far as like them coming over, when they can call you, text you, everything needs to be about your child at this point. Now later down the line, if you are able to kind of have a friendship and crack jokes and things like that, that's one thing. But if you're just starting off after a breakup and you're trying to figure out how to successfully co-parent, don't do it. And everything that I'm talking about is something that I've lived through, so I wouldn't give this advice if I didn't know what I was talking about. Okay. Okay, so number 4 would be to and it kind of goes back to what I was saying as boundaries, but number 4 would be to set aside any personal feelings that you have about the other parent. Okay, so you may have had a really nasty breakup. Unfortunately, when you have a child involved, you don't really have the luxury of taking it out on them. You just have to go. Like, you just have to kind of get over it, and it is what it is. Now, that doesn't mean you don't have time to heal and to get over the relationship. That's not what I'm saying, but it has to be totally different from what you guys got going on over here. So if he or she was a cheater and a liar, you cannot take that out on them and try to, keep the kid. That's the baby crying. Okay, yeah. So if he or she was a liar, you can't try to keep your kid. You can't try to, just stop. Just don't do that. Because their parenting skills, how they feel about your kid has nothing to do with, you and your child and that other person. So you have to keep your feelings aside. If that person is dating someone new, of course, you have every right to want to meet that person, but honestly, how you feel about them does not matter. It just doesn't, unless that person is harmful towards your child. Then okay, but if you just don't like them because they're with the father of your or mother of your child, you have to get over it. That's extremely petty, and the more love that can be given to your kid is even better. So and personally for me, I would want my daughter to grow up in a 2-person household, whether it be with me or her dad. And if she doesn't, then that's fine, but it's just so much easier when you have a 2-parent household. Easier on the task. You can give your child more attention because you're not overwhelmed with all the things that you have to do at home and pay attention to your kid. It's just so much easier. So if my daughter is able to get more love at her dad's house, then why not? Why not? And that's what I'm saying. Allow yourself to heal and get over the relationship, because it's gonna be such it's gonna be easy breezy when it gets to that point. It really is, because you're not gonna care. You're not gonna care at all. So refrain from being petty. Put your personal feelings aside and think about your child. That's the most important thing. So my last tip for a successful co-parenting relationship is trust and respect. So if it's hard when your child is not with you, you have a certain way of doing things, or you're worried about, will that parent keep my child safe? But hopefully, if you had a baby with them, there's a certain level of trust that you do have, regardless of what you guys have been through. So you just have to trust that that parent is not going to put your kid in any harmful situation. So whether it's around, they're bringing that child around someone they're dating or their family, you just have to trust the parent and know that your child is in good hands. And if you don't have that trust, then this will be a little bit hard, and maybe you need to rethink, your arrangement that you have, as far as how often the other parent has the child. But even then, you can't stop the other parent from having the child, so you just kind of still have to trust the other parent, and you need to respect them as well. You need to respect them, because it's really going to reflect on your child's upbringing and how they see the other parent. If they constantly see you disrespecting their father, or calling them names around them, or just being super petty, they're gonna feel resentful towards their father or mother, whatever your situation is, and it's gonna affect them. And I would never want my daughter to feel some type of way about her dad just because of what we went through. He's a really good dad, and it has nothing to do with our personal relationship. And I really think you need to respect what the other parent has going on. You need to respect them. You need to not talk to each other crazy. It's just gonna help. It's just gonna help create a happy environment for your child, and they're not gonna feel weird about talking about the other parent. Like, my daughter is obsessed with her dad. She loves to tell me what her and her dad did, what he bought her, where they went, and I want her to feel comfortable talking to me. But if I'm constantly disrespecting him and calling him names and stuff around her, she's not gonna feel comfortable talking to me, about the other half of her life. So you guys have to think about that. Your child has 2 lives now, unfortunately, but if you can create happy environments for them, definitely do that. So they have 2 lives, and you want to know about what they do when they're not with you. So that is the last tip that I have. So hopefully this was helpful for you. What are some other tips that you guys have for having a successful co-parenting relationship? Definitely comment below so that other moms and dads can see. And good luck with everything, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, do all that. And I'll see you guys later.